What's up, everybody? It's Critical. Over the last 4 or 5 years, there's a question that's constantly popped up that I keep forgetting to bring up in my yearly answering questions video, so I figured I might as well make a whole video about it today. A lot of you might not remember, but about 4 or 5 years ago, I was involved in a car accident, and then a lady faked an injury and sued me for it, and it was just a really shitty period for me. And I made a video after the whole lawsuit and everything was finished and done with, but I still get asked a lot to go into more detail about what happened. So I figured, fuck it, why not? It's kind of an interesting story. So I was on my way home from my figure drawing art class, and I'm pretty shitty at art, and drawing nude models was just incredibly difficult. They'd strike the most bizarre poses like the Inquisitive Masturbator or the YMCA, and I'd do my best to doodle them, but it always came out looking like something out of a 3-year-old sketchbook. It basically just looked like you were looking at bacteria under a microscope. But regardless of my artistic ineptitude, it's irrelevant. So I was driving home from that class, and it's just an ordinary commute and bumping some boner jams, and then all of a sudden, the car in front of me slams on their brakes, and I had absolutely no time to react. So I rear-ended that car, and then that car rear-ended the car in front of them. Now, it wasn't a high-speed impact. At most, I was going 25, but I didn't have time to slam on my brakes because I was driving a little too close to them, so that was like a full 25 in the anus. And luckily, no one was hurt in the accident. But I turn off the boner jams and I go check on the passengers in both cars, and I swear I couldn't have gotten in an accident with two worse groups of people in those cars. The car that I rear-ended was driven by a nurse who was also the babysitter of the two kids in the car whom she was bringing to their families, and the kid in the front seat, the front passenger seat, had a fucking artificial sternum and set of ribs. So when she told me that, I just figured the kid wasn't gonna make it, even though I don't think he was injured. Maybe the airbag clipped him and just destroyed the poor guy. But he was fine. The kid in the back seat was on like an oxygen tank or something, or I don't know what he had back there. He had some type of Star Trek contraption that was keeping him afloat. So I just thought they were both gone for. The lady was totally fine, and turns out the kids were both fine, but I was fucking panicked once I heard all of this information and saw when I looked in the car. And then the car they rear-ended was driven by a mid-90s woman transporting her 74-year-old son to a doctor's appointment to check on the condition of his fucked up leg. And when I went up to this car to check if they were alright, I thought it was just driven by two statues. They didn't even react. They were confused as to why I was up there. I don't even think they knew they were in an accident until all the dust settled and then they realized their car was kind of damaged. When I saw them though, I thought it was game over. I thought there was no way they survived this. It looked like a rogue tumbleweed could take them out. Turns out they were totally fine and more so just annoyed that they were going to be late to the doctor's appointment. So luckily everyone was 100% fine. The only one who even sustained any type of injury was me, and it was from when I went to check on the car in front of me. It was covered in broken glass that I didn't see, and I just cut the shit out of my hand on it. So the police show up, the paramedics show up, they give everyone the okay, a clean bill of health. No one needs to go to the hospitals or anything, they can all just go home, everyone's fine. But unfortunately, the car that I rear-ended must have been made out of fucking tissue paper because that shit just crumbled. The entire rear end of that was just in shambles. My car had absolutely no damage to it, and that's not an exaggeration. There wasn't even a scratch on my car. I guess I just rear-ended a block of styrofoam. But anyway, so everyone's fine, everyone's safe, we all go our separate ways. And then about a week later, the woman driving the car with the two glass children issues a lawsuit. She's suing me and my family, stating that she suffered severe neck injuries as a result of the accident, which is just bullshit, and we tried to fight it, but there really wasn't much we could do, because she went to one of the most corrupt doctors in Tampa, who was well known for performing fake surgeries on ambulance chasers. So she goes to this bogus doctor, and over the course of a year, gets a bunch of injections of Dorito dust into her, and then gets her tits polished or something. Then after about a year, she got a settlement from my insurance company for a very mediocre sum of money, and I imagine at most she probably pocketed about $5,000, so I don't know if it was really worth her time and effort, but whatever. All power to you, you fucking asshole. So yeah, that's the whole story about what happened there. Luckily everyone was alright, even the girl who faked the injury. I'm glad she was safe, although she's a big old piece of shit. So yep, that's about it. See ya.